Ladies and gentlemen, this is GamerWatch, episode 8. I'm Rom,
And this is Ash.
and today it looks like we will be talking about Gallywix boosts and WoW Gold, sort of the gold selling runs and carries and all that jazz. This should be an interesting episode. However, before we get started, just like to leave a reminder for those of you who do happen to be listening, please be sure, if you enjoy this type of content, to leave a like, subscribe, smash the hell out of that notification button, and leave a comment if you'd like. Guiding future episodes or comments, criticisms, whatever. It's all good. So yeah, Ash, you want to take it away with regards to sort of this whole, you know, stuff going
Sure
on with
thing.
this world?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in World of Warcraft, there's always been a noticeable amount of boosting in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
People spamming trade chat, hey, I can carry you in your Mythic Plus. I can give you a 12 out of 12 heroic clear. Come get your mount today, right?
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. Recently, there's been a huge uptake of boosting, advertising in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that could be due. I mean, that's due to numerous issues like corruption and all that stuff. More gear being available, more options for boosting Fried Mask. But there's been not companies, but like groups, huge groups out there who have capitalized on this uptake of boosting and created organizations around them.
Yeah.
One of the main ones out there is Gallywix boosting. Okay.
Yeah.
So how does this work? How does Gallywix work in general, and all these other companies? Okay, or organizations. So they hook up the buyer with the group that's going to boost them, and they take a cut of the payment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you can get like a random group advertising in trade chat for like let's go with values 100K, right? And then you pay, or you can go with like Gallywix or these other groups and pay like 150K, right?
Yeah. So what
Why pay
these
50?
sorry, so what these websites do is they create sort of they act as a middleman, is what you're saying?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
So yeah, the middleman, and then they take a cut of that. But so why go through all this hassle of why do you need a middleman when all these people are boosting? Well, you're getting a guarantee pretty much, like because these organizations have strict standards of who they invite in for boosting and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you're pretty much guaranteed the run to succeed, but you're paying more. So some people like that. Some people have the money.
And they
So where's the problem at hand?
yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry.
So
What'd you say?
no, I'm sorry. I keep interrupting, but I just want to make sure, like, our myself as well as our audience of all these our huge audience understands what's going on here.
Right.
So huge
audience.
audience, huge American audience. So
Hmm.
what they do is they essentially provide like you said, like a guarantee, and they're strict in what sense? Like how restrictive are their standards? Would you mind going into that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So they're strict on two fronts. The requirements to boost is pretty high,
Mm-hmm.
decently high at the very least. So if you go into these random people advertising in trade chat, right?
Yeah.
You like if someone says I'm 3K IO. What is that? Are they actually 3K? Everyone's going to do well and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily know that, right? But these organizations, they have higher standards where they're guaranteed the players to actually do well, right? And on the other standard is this: if there's any mistakes, you're guaranteed your money back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if they mess up, there's always so on a couple of these. I'm actually in a couple of these discords where I've visited them
Mm-hmm.
just to check them out. There's a place for you to write reviews, and I've seen people who leave reviews.
Mm-hmm.
They get their money back, or they guaranteed an also a new run, also, right?
Yeah.
So you pretty much guaranteed you have the assurance that your run is going to go well, and on the off chance your run is not going to go well, they're guaranteed to make it right, and these are the standards they hold, and that's why it's more beneficial in these ways that to get to buy from an organization
Yeah.
than like a random person in trade chat.
That makes sense. So like what they do is like they give their assurances, and obviously because of those assurances they naturally draw in higher quality sort of
Right.
carriers, I would say, right? And as a result, the carriers get more gold, while the customer might pay more. They have a sort of a peace of mind.
Exactly. It's the peace of mind that's helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, because the difference is 30K, and some people, it's like whatever. To be honest,
Yeah.
they rather have the customer service guarantee
Yeah.
than just the off chance of saving like 30K, right? Because if it goes wrong, boom, you're out of 100K, right?
Yeah.
So
And
this is the guarantee.
and so like these are like for, I mean, 15 keys, but do they go even higher, or do the how like how, what's the
Yes.
highest keys they can carry
Uh,
roughly?
so I believe it's 20s,
Okay.
which is right now still pretty high,
Yeah, it definitely is.
and they're guaranteeing. So this is another part of it, right? You can pretty much AFK at the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like literally just run into your wall. So you go, and that's why some people buy it, because if you get like these individual runs,
Mm-hmm.
you might have to help out, or you don't know what their attitude is going to be. Like you know what you're going to get from this. You're getting a full carry. This price, you can just AFK at the beginning, and they will 100% carry you, and they have the organization's guarantee.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're getting. And so how does it work exactly? Well, and this goes into the great issue of RMT and all that stuff. In trade chat, I bet anyone who plays WoW have seen the uptake of advertisements, right?
Yeah.
Trade chats basically, I got your, want to sell 15, I mean, I see one right now actually, want to sell 15 Mythic Plus armor stack, only 130k. And they go through all the different stuff. The Zoth mount, Jaina mount,
Yeah.
Vision 0 to 5 mask, right?
Yeah.
And you get all this stuff. And so their advertisers, so how the system works is, if you contact those advertisers, then they choose the people to group up with. And so it's in their best, and unless the run goes successfully,
Yeah.
they do not get any money from it. That's the organization's rule. So it's in their best interest to choose the best people out of all the boosters, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of like the breakdown of how it is.
Yeah.
So
And
so then where's the
sorry,
wait, what?
I was gonna just ask. So you're a part of these discords. Have you ever purchased a service yourself?
No. So I'm not a purchaser.
Okay.
I am a booster.
Okay. And
So I've signed up,
yeah.
and yeah. So yeah, so pretty much I've signed up. I go through the process. So my specific Discord where I boost at, right?
Yeah.
The requirements is high enough IO, but if you make a mistake, you get a strike on your file. So you don't want any strikes, right?
Of course.
So all I do is advertisers. Cause there's a chat for advertisers. They list their key. They list all the requirements, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I just message them, be like, hey, this is what I am. This is what I can offer to the group.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm in or not, right? And then you do the run, and then you get paid. It's pretty efficient, actually.
How often have you carried people? Like, how many times have you done this?
I do about, let's see, I mean, recently I've been pretty busy recently.
Yeah.
So I've only done like 6 boosts,
Okay.
like a week.
But
which
they've
is-
all gone successfully. Just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are all untimed ones.
Yeah.
Because if you want timed, you have to be like 3,200 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And I was too lazy to get.
Oh, your
that high.
Radar.io. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly. That's
Your
what they
score.
use.
Yeah.
But all the ones I've done so far, I mean, the person's been AFK, and and just for us four, I've timed every single one of them. It's been pretty easy, pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and you've made quite a bit of gold doing this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
like you said, though, the issue is RMTs, and for those of you who don't know, real money transactions.
Right.
And
right.
so you want to like sort of break down like where this sort of the bans and throughout the WoW that reverberated
Exactly.
throughout the WoW community. You want to get into the details of that a
So
little
yeah,
bit?
these organizations,
Yeah.
right? So these organizations preach. This is the number one. This is why all these organizations are allowed, right?
Mm-hmm.
They preach only gold, no money, right?
Mm-hmm.
You will see that's like the number one thing they will say, only gold. Okay. So then what's the problem? Well, so the head honchos, they're getting a cut of every run, right?
Yeah.
Like right now, on Monday, they're getting like hundreds to probably 1,000 runs, right? People are buying like hotcakes the boost, right?
Naturally. Yeah.
Right. So you get so the organizations get all this gold. I heard they're making billions of gold a month, right?
Yeah. Mondays being, by the way, the final day of the week before your highest key is then highest key of the week is then used to determine the piece of loot you get in the your weekly chest for the week, the following
Right.
week. Yeah.
So yeah, well, I mean, well, people obviously speculated. Well, if you have billions of gold, what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
Turns out they were right. I mean, people kept saying, well, maybe they're trading it for real money, right?
Yeah.
and all these organizations say no, no, we're not trading.
Yeah.
Turns out, I mean, having billions of gold a month
Yeah.
is pretty tempting. And so someone did the math. If they traded their gold,
Yeah.
like they say that, like it's been proven,
Yeah.
they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars
Yeah. Yeah.
a month.
That's insane.
This is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, well, I mean, that by itself is kind of, I mean, besides breaking uh, Blizzard TOS, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty insane. That's a lot of money.
Yes, of course.
So where's the problem with, advertising and like their association with the game also besides that part of that they're breaking the TOS, right?
Mm-hmm.
They ally with guilds and streamers to like advertise them, right?
Yeah.
So you have guilds like Method, cough, right? Method,
Right.
former Method.
R.I.P.
Um,
Actually,
exactly.
not. Don't rest in peace. Actually, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're back, right? They're the new guild.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they allied with Method. I think Slootbag was one of them, right?
The former raid leader.
No. Slootbag was a different guild. He's a streamer.
Oh, who am I thinking of then? Scripe. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
Yeah.
Scripe.
I mean, Scripe, as the former raid leader of Method, now the raid leader of Echo,
Yeah.
he's admitted to buying gold from Galliwix, which is one of the organizations,
Yeah.
because it's cheaper than buying 150k from. It's more efficient
Mhm.
and it's cheaper than buying the 130k I think it is right now, 120k
Mm-hmm.
for $15 or $20 actually.
Right.
So they're getting a deal there.
Yeah, they are. They certainly are. And I mean, there were just to sort of comment on like the sheer amounts of gold being traded back and forth. I mean, you would think like, 150k, like that's, some people might think that's a lot. I know like across my accounts right now, I only have like, while I did once upon a time have millions and millions I used to gamble with and just, waiting around before raid pulls, I'm down to about 200, just under 250k. So, that's significant. But when you also consider the amount of gold that Limit spent, for instance, to
Right.
on their world first race, according to BlizzardWatch.com, an article they posted just a few days ago, 257 million gold they spent on their world first race. And they, just to put that in perspective, that's 5 million gold a day they're earning, or that they earned to pay that off within the 7 weeks. That's how quickly they paid off. 5 million gold a day, earning by just through, boosts and stuff like that, selling carries essentially. So,
Yeah, I mean,
just had to throw that out there.
of course, yeah, that's insane numbers
Yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah,
It's easy for them to do it because of their paint legitly, right?
yeah,
By just, I mean, selling Mythic 12 out of 12, Heroic 12 out of 12. They're making 500k a run probably from each person.
yeah,
So it's not that hard, but yeah, it's definitely an insane number. Limit has not confirmed any RMT.
mm-hmm.
Method has, right?
Yeah,
So is some other streamers. So then, as you know, so what did Blizzard do about this, right? I think that's the notable thing. This has been going on for a while,
yeah,
and there's been a lot of speculation about it. Like, I mean, hindsight's 2020, right? But I mean, you have an organization with billions of gold. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious what's going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, as you
So, I
said,
mean,
you put it into terms of their incomes of the people running the site, hundreds of thousands of dollars per
Right.
year. Like, that's not insignificant by any means. So,
Yeah, that's yeah.
yeah, for WoW
That's-
boost.
That's mind blowing. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just from really having an organization that pays itself pretty
Are,
much.
were these the people who created the site, or like?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like the head honchos.
Okay,
the
gotcha.
managers and all that stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, I mean, that's a like I can't even wrap my head around that. Like that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
right?
mucho pesos. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did Blizzard respond to this, right?
Yeah.
They made a post saying, "Hey, Gallywix caught banned, right? Easy.
Yeah.
If you're caught advertising Gallywix in any form, you will also be banned, right?"
Yeah.
I think that's new. I don't know if that's normal course of action.
I not that I can recall, but then again, I don't know if there's been something this like an organization external to WoW that has been this so large that they have had to go to those lengths, in terms of advertising, because this is something that's sort of community. This is directly through the community, um, within the game, but an external site that's monetizing in-game, sort of, I guess, carries, and
Right.
so what it essentially is, it's a transaction that Warcraft doesn't see a penny of those transactions, essentially. So yeah, I don't know if I can ever recall like such large amounts of money being monetized connected to WoW being taking place outside of WoW.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. It's just yeah, this is pretty new. It's just all the uptake of opportunities to boost have just created this economy around boosting, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they say if you cut advertising galleries at all after this, um, then you're banned, right? And there's some victims, there's some fallout victims of this, right?
Yeah.
They pay. I forget when the payout is, but it's not every day, right?
Uh-huh.
So people who have been boosting recently, like within a couple of days of, right, a couple of days beforehand,
Oh yeah.
they don't get paid out. Advertisers don't get paid out, right? That kind
Right.
of sucks.
Right.
So that money's just
And through
gone, whisked away.
and they may have done everything legally, but yeah, they're just you're right. They won't the carriers won't get their money for sure. So,
Yeah, yeah, they don't get paid at all.
yeah. And might
Gallywix.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh, well, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, Gallywix just. It's so funny. Within like a day,
Yeah.
they just deleted everything. They're just gone.
Yeah, there no Twitter, no Discord, no website that loads. Again, according to BlizzardWatch.com, all gone. So yeah, they've been deleted. I mean, deleted in every sense of the word.
It's
Canceled,
pretty
I
funny.
should say canceled.
It is pretty funny, honestly.
Yeah. So I mean, this sort of starts to begin to sort of take on a small little discussion, I guess, on there's a definitely a. I mean, it's not creeping anymore. It is it kind of in your face. Pay to win aspect in WoW, right? Like,
Exactly.
so this is something that's kind of been problematic for a while, where you can buy BOEs, you can buy carries, but this is I mean, WoW, ever since the token has entered the picture, there has been an element of pay to win attached to this game. Like, I mean, it's very direct now. Like, that made it as direct as possible. Like, I can spend money to convert into a token, which I can then convert into in-game currency, which I can then convert into a piece of gear, right?
Right.
Like, that's the. I mean, okay, maybe there's a few extra steps compared to, say, other games which are more direct. I pay money, I get gear, but this is pay to win now.
Do you not like it?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the token. I think the token was actually genius. Because it sort of gave me something to work for back when I did have all that gold that I used to. I once upon a time had a gold empire. Um, but so it gave me I had a goal of, like, all I did was pay my subscription, like, to be able to use that token to pay for a subscription or to convert to a BNet balance, which I then used for instance, say, to spend that money, convert to BNet balance, which I then used to spend money on other Blizzard games, such as Overwatch, such as Diablo, such as WoW, WoW transactions, such as, like, transferring a character or race changing, whatever, like, genius. So I am a fan of that, but obviously I can't support that without then simultaneously be angry about how people have utilized that to pay to win, essentially, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about it?
Yeah. I mean, I can't necessarily get mad at it. I think the problem is I have a disconnect from, like, the area that those people affect, right?
Yeah.
Because I've gotten to, like, a high enough level where the people boosting,
Mhm.
or the people that are boosted, right?
Mm-hmm.
They jump up a level, but that level is still below where I currently am.
Mm-hmm.
No brag or anything, right? But um, it doesn't really affect me, so I don't care necessarily. But I can definitely see where it can be frustrating when you have people who are boosted
Yeah.
because the eye level's higher,
Yeah.
or you know, they're doing content they're not meant for.
Yeah.
But I will say this though, okay? From my experience when I was boosting, I've had people who are like geared enough to do it and have the IO to do it, right?
Yeah.
But they want to AFK. They don't want to even spend 40 minutes doing the run, right?
Sure.
So they AFK, right?
Yeah.
They're AFK at the beginning because that's allowed.
Yeah.
I've had PvPers, like rank 1 gladiators, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want. I mean, they either hate it or they're not adept at that type of content, right?
Yeah.
So they buy the pieces they need, right? Because it's the idea of like you need PVE to do PvP content, right?
Yeah.
So, and you get people gearing up alts, right?
Yeah.
So, I think it's a lot more complex than it's simply pay to win, right? Because it's not always people who are undeserving that gear getting boosted. It's just people who value their time per se, which I don't necessarily think is a wrong
Yeah.
notion.
Like I can't blame people for wanting to get carried. Like you have the gold, like there's only so much things you
Right.
can use on for that gold, you know, until like I mean, we've talked about how much the sheer amount of gold that's just getting passed around like without any problem. Like anybody can honestly attain like a level of I guess wow um financial security that they can like just do whatever the hell they want with that gold. Like there's just not, you know, you can pick and choose. To be able to pick and choose what you want to do is not I'm not saying that's bad by any means, such as saying buying a carry. Like I totally get that. I personally try to use my gold on more permanent account-wide things, like such as like working towards titles or mounts or transmog, whatever, like stuff that lasts through expansions rather than like specific pieces of gear. But I can understand people. Once upon a time, I was that person too, that I would want to buy the best trinkets, the best gear back in like Wrath and Kata. So I totally get that. Uh, my issue is, I guess, I don't know if I necessarily agree with these bans. Like, like Blizzard has very clearly, if they have created the token, they have to be okay with a world where it becomes pay to win and people take that gold that is like Blizzard was okay with your money converting to gold, but they're not okay with gold converting to money. And I don't necessarily like I think
But it's not their money.
it's not their money, but they've created very easy like they have essentially what they've done by creating a world of money to gold. They have placed a financial value on every single item that can be sold for gold within WoW, whether it's for as little as pennies or such as say the Brutosaur mount, which I believe last I checked based on the US token, which when I checked was around 120k. That puts the Brutosaur mount at about $870 if you
Yeah.
directly convert tokens to gold. So if you invest the 5 million gold into that mount, you are essentially foregoing $870. Like that is a tangible value on that mount, and I can't blame people for like just as people would like for instance if I had the 5 million gold I would second guess buying that mount because I'd be like, well, I could convert this gold to BNet balance and I'd essentially save my bank account $870, right? I can't blame people for wanting to think about it the other way where they're like, hey, I want to buy I don't mind paying, like you said, these rank 1 glads who are clearly very talented at the game. They just want to save their time or their skills don't necessarily translate. They are, you know, if how can placing a tangible dollar value on your time or effort saved is a valid thing to me. So I don't blame the Galliwix community, the people at the top that you see an opportunity to make, you know, a couple 100k. Why not? You know, to me, like I say, why not? I think it's kind of. I think Blizzard has created this world. Like this is a product of their actions, and I think they just have to kind of live in the world they created and deal with it. But you know, they're carrying out these bans, and if people agree, so be it. Like people, I understand like people are frustrated because of the spam in trade chat, right? Like that's a very real thing. And I don't know if that'll die down necessarily. We'll see. Because this ban.
So you think it should be? You think it should be not against TOS?
Yeah, I don't necessarily blame people for wanting to make money off. I mean, Blizzard did this with Diablo. Like this isn't like this. Like they're like completely immune to like they did this where people could buy gear directly for Diablo 3, I should say, more specifically, where people could buy gear directly for money off the what system that once existed early on in Diablo 3's game cycle. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could buy, you could shut like people could get pieces to drop, and I see. I didn't play Diablo 3 back then, but from what I understand, there was like either an auction house or some sort of transaction, a system of transactions where you could post a piece and people could buy it for like $5, $10. So they once upon a time Diablo 3 was pay to win. I mean, why should WoW be immune to that? You know, I guess Overwatch is probably the best of the most pure, I guess, morally pure of all their three major games that, you know, isn't necessarily pay to win, but you know, Hearthstone is pretty much a pay to win game. I mean, what did you say?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the morality of this, I don't really care, honestly, either way.
Yeah,
Um, do I wish it was allowed?
yeah.
Yes. I mean, it would benefit me, right? So
Hmm.
why not? Morality wise, because it's only hurting Blizzard as a company. It's not hurting anybody else really. So I personally am fine with it.
Yeah,
The problem, so yeah, I mean, I can see why Blizzard wants to ban it, right? I mean, I get why. So I'm not too shook up about them having like banning this organization or anything.
yeah,
The community reaction to this was this: hey, less spam. That's it.
yeah,
They didn't care. They didn't care either way. They didn't. They just like, oh, wow, less spam boosters. People who hated the spam and hate boosters.
yeah,
This is good for them, right? But they don't care that much. Right? It's just indifference
yeah,
at this point. So, I mean, at this point, I mean, so like, I mean, you also have like Scripe, like the leader of Echo
Mhm.
Method, right? Former Method.
yeah,
No one cared if he got banned. The only thing they cared about, as long as there's equality, right? And I think you see this on Twitch and also with the rules and everything.
hmm,
The idea that the rules are equally enforced, right? That's
Mhm.
what they care about.
yeah.
So, I think that's fair. But honestly, I don't think I don't get what the big deal is.
Exactly. Like you see, you just made the argument that Blizzard is hurt by this. I wouldn't necessarily say that either. I wouldn't even go that far. Like I don't know if this is like surprising to you that I feel this way, but I don't think Blizzard is hurt by real money transactions taking place outside their ecosystem because I mean, first of all, they've incentivized it with the token system, and it again, as we discussed, Diablo 3 and Hearthstone are not immune to pay to win criticism, but they wouldn't see that money to begin with. Like they aren't seeing like the money that's being made is extra necessarily. It's like an extra that it's only made possible because of the token system to begin with. That money wouldn't exist without the token system. Um, People can therefore therefore people like Blizzard wouldn't see any cuts. Like there's no world where they would create a pay to get carried system. So what is the harm in letting people monetize that? At least in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I mean, this has happened. It could happen independent of the token system, right? If you don't have the token system,
Yeah.
all you have is so. I mean, how these boosting site works, like independently of, like Gallywix, they have their own way of selling gold, right?
Mhm.
These big guilds, right, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They needed it. How like if you go to any of these boosting sites or whatever,
Mhm.
or these gold sites, how they work is you trade the gold to them or whatever, because so there's sites for trading gold, right?
Mhm.
They are the middleman for that type of deals,
Yeah.
and it would happen independent of a token, I would think. So
So
they just made what?
I'm just gonna say the way. Okay, so I shouldn't have said directly like in terms of like, oh, people are using tokens. I should say more in terms of the impact of the token system, which has created a world where you can view every action that's related to gold. In terms, you can monetize every action. Oh, do I have to go buy a flask? That flask, in relative to a token, costs me pennies, right? Whatever. I'm not going to break
Right.
down the math for something small. But like this carry, which is 150k, oh, that's only 15, 20 bucks of my time. For that saves me an hour, and that could potentially save me time on the back end, like in terms of like, oh, this piece might help our raid clear, so like people can like monetize that, essentially put a value on the time saved or the time spent versus the time they would otherwise spend, I should say, um, in terms of getting their what they're spending on with regards to their transaction. So like me paying to get a carry in a 15, I can be like, oh, that's worth it to me. Like it might not be worth it to everyone, but it's worth it to me.
Right.
Like the money, the dollar value spent on that relative to the gold. So I'm just saying like the legacy of the token system has sort of created this world where everything can be viewed through that type of lens.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
I think I see Blizzard as more of taking advantage of this interaction happening,
Mm-hmm.
and at least doing it in a way that benefits them through the token system, right?
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, the token system has created as it further increased this like um, connection between gold and money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I initially started with that already happening, and they just implemented a way for them to like benefit from it.
Yeah. And
So,
again, I'm not criticizing the token system. It's genius on their part, especially in
right,
terms of their part,
exactly.
because you pay $20 for $15 worth of value. You're paying $20 for the token, I believe, for to get either a subscription or $15 on your BNet balance. So instantly they are increasing the value of,
Exactly.
your usefulness of that transaction. They're reducing it by 25%, but keeping the profit essentially. Um, so yeah, like, and again, the fact that I used it, like for instance, I used it to buy different Overwatch accounts. I used it to for a subscription for almost the entirety of Legion. I believe I was subscribed just through. I mean, no, I think I've been subscribed almost the entirety of when I have been playing since the token system has been implemented, where you can pay for subscriptions. Like, so I've benefited from it. And so I by no means am
Right.
I criticizing it. I'm actually just criticizing the bans. Like, I don't think there's any, other than the spam, like we talked about. I don't think there's any negative sort of uh, consequence to this sort of these transactions taking place external of WoW's the WoW, the game itself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I personally agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything hurtful of. I mean, their token is their way of trying to get behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they acknowledge the boosting and the spam, right? If they create like a separate, I don't know, would creating a separate channel work? I think that would be like an easy like, just throw all the spammers into like what their own channel, right? And then say anything outside of that channel is like mute.
Yeah, creating a channel like that would be good. I mean, I like people are like you said, like you're not even a part of the. I don't think you're a part of the GamerWatch community, right? Like you
No,
weren't a part of
I
it.
didn't do that
There's
for
a
them.
different community, so that spam's going to continue, and
Right.
once if the community you're a part of, I'm not saying you're tied into this, but let's say other people at the top of that community got tied into some real money transactions that they get banned. Just, I mean, another one's going to spring up.
Yeah, they just come up.
They'll just keep
It's
springing up. So that doesn't solve the spam issue. So I don't know why the community like rejoiced in unison for.
I think it's just more just. Yeah, I don't think they actually think that it's going to go away. Just
Yeah.
more of a ha! I beat you guys.
Yeah, fair
I
enough,
beat the I beat the spammers.
yeah, like they got their comeuppance, I guess. So,
Exactly.
Sure, but I mean, Galliwick shuts down, but something else will spring up, and it's just, I mean, it's inevitable. I Another channel might be the sort of the solution, where they sanction like, hey, you can spam however you want, but I think the best solution for these, the chat bans aren't going to solve the issue either. Like, because they're usually like level 1, just random account, sort of chat spamming, and they're not tied to any tangible real accounts that are like worth anything. So that's not banning those aren't going to hurt the spammers either. So I don't know what the solution is. Like, maybe they need to create like their own community. Like I know like communities were a thing once upon a time that Blizzard tried to make happen. I don't know if they're a thing like people use, within the guild finder sort of like interface. I don't know.
It's just still so much. It just their implementation of that is just too rough to be
Yeah.
still used. I like the organizations. At the very least, RMT aside, I like these boosting organizations.
Yeah.
they really streamlined a lot of people of getting into boosting per se.
Yeah.
And the payout's pretty good, honestly.
Mm.
I think that's the genius part on the people who could make these organizations.
Yeah, like
So
I'm not quite sure where I'm heading in terms of like my Shadowlands sort of like what I'll be focusing on. Right now it's mainly just getting my account ready for Shadowlands, you know, I grinded flying and I'm leveling up a bunch of characters, getting my professions in order. Not that that's that important, but it's just for my completionist sake. But
yeah,
what I ultimately, if like rating may or may not be a thing depending on how you know this whole COVID thing goes for me. Like I've not going to be in classes next semester, so the semester after that, I'm still not sure how it's going to look in terms of like when you know the January, what we call the spring semester. Other people might be like it's technically starts in winter in January. I don't know what that semester is going to look like, but if I don't have time, you know, Mythic Plus seems like the a reasonable, you know, less of a commitment sort of thing type of content where I can kind of do it at my own pace. And you know, if I get to the level where I can like help boost people, I'm definitely gonna jump on that, make some gold that way, just so I can like, you know, build up my BNet balance and buy whatever the hell I want. Maybe the Brutosaur mount off the black market auction house if it ever
yeah.
springs
Good
up
luck with
on there,
that.
right? That'd be.
Yeah, good luck.
I mean, you know, it'll cap. I think the highest an item can go on there is 10 million anyways. So, I mean, whatever.
And
I used to have that.
so boosting is not the only. So I know you talk about some downside of the boosting.
Yeah.
These organizations also sell cosmetics,
Mm.
like you know the Void Talon, right?
Void
Oh,
Talon?
yeah, the Warlord's a Drainer, Void Talon.
No. What is that?
So there's like it's a rare like a portal. There's like a portal that spawns in one of the 5 zones,
Yeah.
and the if you click it, you enter like a new zone, a new instance or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's very small. There's an egg there. You get it. You get the mount, right?
Yeah.
The respawn timer is insanely long. It's like from I forget like a couple hours to a day or something like that,
Okay.
and it can spawn in all these different spots.
Yeah.
And so the point is, the organizations also offer um, the opportunity to get these because they have dedicated people getting mounts, pets, rare pets, right? Uh, so I honestly, so I think they do way more than just straight up boosting eye level.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I like it. Great addition, great everything.
Yeah.
I see where Blizzard's coming from, but you know,
They
they'll
can.
just come back.
They made their bed. I feel like they can. Like I don't agree with these bans. Like by all means, do what you want. These world first, you know, runs, having to act like they're not a pay to win game when you know
Yeah, it
limit.
clearly
Like I
is.
said, limit spent 257 million gold on the last world first race.
Yeah.
And then subsequently paid it off within 7 weeks, which again comes out to about 5 million a day. Which is just that's a Brutosaur a day. Um, that's insane levels of gold. And you know, while the economy might be dead right now, you know, this will become so. This issue I feel like will sort of spring up. Even become even more problematic with the system Shadowlands is implementing, where you have to complete X number of dungeons per week, and you know X percentage of those dungeons need to be X, you know, at a certain level in order to attain whatever level piece you're going for. That could be like that could put more strain on the system.
Well, it's 10 now.
It's gonna be
So
yeah 10
so it's
dungeons.
no, it's 5 and 1 5 10.
Mm-hmm.
They nerfed it down from 15.
Okay, no, either way, like it'll be.
Oh, did you say 10 or did you say 15?
I think I said 10 anyways.
Oh, okay, whatever.
But I may have said 15. If I did, I meant to say 10 because yeah, I saw those numbers
Right.
just the other day. So yeah, like you know them asking for people. Well, I shouldn't say asking, but those at the very top end who are going for every edge they can get, they will certainly use the services available to them, right? And it's just going to become an even bigger problem in that in
Yeah,
Shadowlands.
I don't know if that's actually going to be it might be a problem depending on the mentality.
Yeah,
Because you're not getting more gear, just getting more options. So
yeah.
I don't know if some people actually care that much, but we'll see. It's hard to speculate at this point.
No, of course, but I don't. I wouldn't surprise me to see. I guess. I should
Yeah, it
say,
would not
yeah.
surprise me either.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they do this.
Them taking whatever edge they can get because that's just the nature of world first runs, and you know, eventually that mentality might seep its or trickle its way down to other raiders as well. Just because you know people think that they're all, as we've discussed in previous podcasts, think that they're on that level and they feel like they have to do the same things, and they may
Right.
not necessarily have to, but they do it anyways. Um, so we'll see. Not that I think it'll be commonplace, but I can see it. Not I can see people definitely those services growing larger and larger, which just kind of feeds into itself and makes the problem a larger problem. More opportunities for monetization, and I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind monetizing for myself if that's kind of the way it goes. I wouldn't risk my account though. I'd have to, I don't know, do some. I'd have to figure out a way, but that's just me. So maybe not the most ethical outlook, but
Right. Sure.
I don't feel like there's any harm necessarily caused to it, except maybe there's harm to a billion-dollar company, and I'm not going to feel sorry for them. And I would disagree with the sentiment that is causing them harm in the first place. It's just they're missing out on their cut is all that it is, which, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah. So yeah, any thing to add there, Ash, or you feel?
I feel pretty good about this.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I feel pretty good too. I think we're going to be wrapping up here. Again, if you enjoy this sort of content, those of you listening, please like, subscribe, and if you want, hit that notification bell. That'd be nice. If not, that's cool too. Dislike if you like. That's fine too. Just, let us know how you feel about the content. But yeah, this has been GamerWatch, episode 8. I am Rom.
And I'm Ash.
And thank you very much for listening. Have a good one.
All right. Take care.